Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you all for attending today's workshop. My name is Gazim. I'm the Newcomer Employment Specialist with Immigrant Services Calgary. Today's workshop's title is LinkedIn and putting yourself out there. Before we start with the presentation, I would like to read a couple of slides that we have here. First of all, we would like to thank our program funder, which is Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, which enables us to do these trainings and workshops. I would also like to read a couple of reminders before we start. Please keep your microphone on mute at all times. Please keep your camera turned off. No abusive language will be tolerated. Please do not post any personal information in the chat box. Please save any questions for the end of the workshop and type them in the chat box. An evaluation link will be sent out at the end of the workshop, and we appreciate your answers to ensure better quality of our workshop. All right, well, thank you all for attending today's event. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Bonnie. Bonnie is our speaker for today's event. Bonnie graciously has accepted to do this session today and to provide some information to all of you on LinkedIn. I would like to introduce Bonnie. So before I give the floor to Bonnie, I would like to tell you that Bonnie is the Campus Calgary Manager at CLI College of Business, Health and Technology. Bonnie has over 15 years of experience in private education and offers a unique blend of distinguished knowledge, vision, and passion for learning and people. A staunch proponent for education, she believes anyone can become successful and better version of themselves through education. Born and raised in Calgary, Bonnie's enduring creed is to provide counsel to young people with a track record of helping students achieve their goals and reach their dreams. She's a mom of 2 wonderful boys and an avid knitter, ADHD advocate, and an animal lover. Bonnie is looking forward to share her future with you at CLI College of Business, Health and Technology. Bonnie, thank you again, and I would like to pass the floor to you so that you can continue with your presentation.
Just a reminder before Bonnie starts, please be sure to change your names on the screen to the name by which you have registered, because we'll be sharing some resources after the workshop, and if we cannot find you on the list, we will not be able to share it with you. So please make sure you change the name to the actual name that you registered by. Thank you, and over to you, Bonnie, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Gazim. That was great. As you heard, my name is Bonnie Young, and I'm the campus manager here at CLI College of Business, Health and Technology. We just opened up in August in Calgary and have been around for about 22 years in Canada. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about LinkedIn. I'm going to share my screen with you all. So here we go. Share. And I have a bit of a presentation to go through. We will be covering a lot of information, so you may want to grab a piece of paper and a pen to jot down any questions. LinkedIn is a marvelous platform with a lot of information. So I have a feeling we'll also be doing an advanced class or information session after this one in some time. So let's get started. Thank you, Immigrant Services Calgary, for having me, hosting me to do this. And as I mentioned, let's see, my screen is, there we go. Thank you. Is moving right along. Here's a brief agenda of what it is we're going to cover tonight. So what is LinkedIn really? And why do you need it? Getting started with your profile, LinkedIn for job seekers, and some LinkedIn tips and hints. So when you first Google LinkedIn, this is probably what you'll see. It'll ask you to either sign in or join now. Remember, LinkedIn is free, so by all means, go right ahead and do join if you haven't already done it. Not many people know that LinkedIn is actually the world's largest professional social networking platform of the century. And it is a social networking avenue that not a lot of people use as compared to something like Facebook. There are 756 million users, and it is in over 200 countries. 20% of those users are in the United States, so that's 80% are worldwide. It gives you an opportunity to tell potential employers what is great about you before the interview and also after your interview. It started in 2003 and it is owned by Microsoft. 40 million people use LinkedIn to search for jobs every week. And 53% of users are men and 47% are women. So that was an interesting statistic. It's about half and half. So why do you need LinkedIn? Well, for one thing, for networking and connecting with relevant professionals. LinkedIn is a professional social platform for professionals. So you're able to share your skills, your values, your experience, your credentials with employers and recruiters. It says more about you than your resume ever could. And you can also use it for career and job opportunities. So here's some more whys as why you need LinkedIn. It's the world's most successful and largest job search tool, period. Showcase accomplishments, your successes, your achievements. You can view career-focused and specific job postings, recruitment opportunities and exposure. You can build your professional credibility. You can learn current business trends and access unlimited knowledge from professionals and experts. You can research your employers, your companies, and management before you get there. And of course, LinkedIn is free. So this is where we get into some nitty gritty. This is getting started with your profile. Now, a lot of us have LinkedIn accounts, but we don't really know what needs to be there. So I'm going to hopefully cover some of that for you. Completed profiles are viewed 40 times more often, and only 51% of the profiles out there are even completed. So make sure you add some content. It's going to elevate your presence on LinkedIn. But before you start, you need to spend some time thinking about what you want the professional world to know about you. Ask yourself a few important questions, excuse me, such as, what have you accomplished? What are you proud of? Where do you want your career to go? Who is your audience? What values and skills do you bring to a potential employer? Be positive and keep your emotions out of your profile. So that's a lot to think about, but if you're job searching, you probably have done some of this already. So when you open up your LinkedIn profile, this is an example of what it is you're going to see. You see the big picture in the back, the profile picture, name, what they call the headline, your contacts on the right, and then about you. So this is what you need to complete, okay? So focus on your profile, where you want your career to go, not where you've been. Okay, so it's not a resume. So let's start with your profile photo. Study of University of York determined that it only takes 33 to 100 milliseconds to make a first impression. That's just a glance, and somebody's already made an impression, or you've already left an impression. Keep your picture professional. Use a headshot only. And your headshot should take up about 60% of the profile picture space, okay? No birthday parties, no pictures with friends, no beach vacation pictures. A plain, simple photo is what works best. Use a current photo. You should look like you would in your interview and wear clothing that you would wear while at work. Look into the camera, smile slightly, and be yourself. Do not take a selfie. They just don't look as professional. Have someone take the photo for you. Remove your background. So if, for example, where I am right now, if I were to have someone take my photo, I could remove the background with a website, which is www.removebg.com. It's free. You upload your photo and it'll take the background right out for you. So it looks very professional. Here's an example of a nice LinkedIn photo and a not so nice LinkedIn photo. Her hair is neatly brushed. Her smile is nice. She's looking into the camera. Her clothes are neat and tidy. You do want to look like you would on a job interview. Okay, so we've covered the photo. Right underneath your photo is what they call the headline. And the headline is your billboard advertisement. It's your tagline. You only get about 120 characters to write your story. So it's really important that you do it well. It's the first thing people will read about you, and it attaches to all of your comments that you make and appears in search results. So if somebody is searching for you, it pops up. You can use your buzzwords, your resume buzzwords in this section, like aspiring, driven, motivated, talented, demonstrated, you know, the big resume words. You can use those here, but that's the only place that I recommend that you do that. Define what you do, who do you help, and how do you do it? Define your role within the industry and use your title or the title that suits you best. What makes you unique, different, and you want to be interesting? Here's an example of one I've just pulled off, and his name is Austin, and it says, I help people land amazing jobs without applying online. Need help with your job search? Let's talk. Info below. So he's telling everyone what he does. He's boasting a little bit. He's confident, he's creative, and he's authentic. Define how you help and what your objective is. This is really important, this headline. Behind the headline and behind your profile picture is that big space, and that's your LinkedIn banner. The first thing people see is the banner, then your photo, and then the headline. So it's often forgotten about, which is a huge mistake, because it's your opportunity to display a little bit of insight about who you really are. It increases your credibility, your ranking in LinkedIn, and also the algorithms. So you do want to put a picture in. It should reflect your personality and what you'd like to share with the world. So be creative, professional, or promotional. There's two websites that are right here. There's www.canva.com or www.unsplash.com, where you can upload free LinkedIn banners. Okay, and here's an example of my banner. So I like the teal color, I guess, passionate about education and people. And my headline, helping people be the best versions of themselves through education and leadership. Okay, here's an example of some headlines from canva.com. And as you can see, you can upload your picture to them. You can, like I said, promote yourself. There's hundreds to choose from. So personalize your LinkedIn page. Okay, so we covered a lot here. We covered downloading or uploading your photo. We talked about the banner, and we talked about your headline. I'd like to take a second here before we go into sections, which is a big area. If you have any questions, write them down now. Think about what you'd like to ask me at the end, because we're moving right on in. So I'll just give you a second. Okay, we ready? All right. They call them sections. Okay, and underneath, when you first open up LinkedIn, on the top corner, it'll say me, and there'll be a little picture of you. If you click on that, you get a screen that says add section. Okay, and this is where you put your profile, your banner, your headline, your summary, which is about me, and your work experience. When you open it up, you have all these options. We're going to cover 3 of them and briefly talk about another as we go through tonight. Okay, the about me, or the summary, some people call it. This is a really unique area where you have 2,000 characters. Use this space wisely. This is where you gain the interests of potential employers. This is going to showcase you better than any resume could. Okay, so be creative. What you do is you tell your work history in a story. Who are you? What do you want to be known for? What are you good at? What are your skills and strengths? What motivates you? What are you proud of? What are you passionate about? What matters to you? What is your purpose? And why do you do what you do? Highlight key achievements and successes in here as well. So anything that you're proud of, awards, certificates, diplomas, degrees. Now, see, she doesn't have a banner. She's got an amazing profile, but this is a plain LinkedIn banner. Unfortunately, I just thought I'd point that out. So an example of a summary, keep it positive. Information from your resume in a story format. Highlight your skills and talents, your roles, responsibilities, future ambitions, goals. And remember to keep in the back of your mind, what is the secret to your success? This lady, Joyce West, has a fantastic profile. This is an example of how you turn your resume into a story. I'm just going to read the first little bit here because it's really quite good. I founded and successfully sold an office snacks distribution company to corporate offices and love being an early stage employee at fast growing and innovative companies where I can make an impact. I'm a general manager and operating executive for growing companies. I love change management and turnarounds. So you can see how she has taken the data from her resume and she's actually turned it into a story. Now, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that. For example, my profile about me is very similar to my resume. You can put the information in there strategically, but don't copy paste. Potential employers are going to see your resume, so you don't want to make it look the same. So the next section we're going to talk about is called features. And this is where you can showcase or feature your work that you're most proud of. We're not going to get into features a whole lot, but it is one that if you do have accomplishments, you have videos, links, say you write stories or articles and you want to upload them, this is where you put them. Okay. This is also where you can track what you've posted. It works very similar to Facebook in that you can share stories or upload a story. And this is where you keep track of it. So it would be very similar to your timeline, as we all know on Facebook. If you have an online portfolio, this is where you'll put it. Okay. You can complete this section later. It's not one of the really important ones to do. Okay, education. This is important. This is where you list your academic achievements, your degrees, diplomas, and what institutions you've attended. Note your educational experiences and industry expertise in this section. So sometimes in school, you've done a practicum, you've done an internship, you've done whatever you have accomplished should go in here, not just the bare bones, but this is where you can brag a little bit, okay? Technical data, use technical data, use professional acknowledgements. Ensure your top 2 trades or skills or talents, whatever you want to call them, are in here. What are you really good at? What are the top 2? Recruiters and employers will look here. And remember to keep your dates and your information cohesive with your resume. Okay, so if you say you worked at Sally's from 2018 to 2020, well, that's what LinkedIn and your resume should say. So just remember that. Okay, the next section called experience. This is also tied into job-related experiences. This section is an overview of your past responsibilities, developments, involvements, jobs. This is where you put your employers, but you have an opportunity to summarize underneath the employer in a few short words what you really were responsible for. In this area, describe more than just your duties. Okay? Outline how you achieved it, what the outcome was, and how it made an impact. For example, I arranged a gala and 190 people came and we raised $40,000, just as an example. That's not part of my job description, but it's something that I did that I was proud of. That should go in LinkedIn, okay? Tailor this section to the industry you want to work in, not necessarily where you've been, but where you want to go, okay? Do not use your buzzwords, if at all possible, in this section. Be real, be authentic, and do not copy paste your resume. Okay. How's everybody doing out there? I hope everyone's doing okay. It's a lot of information. We're going to get into some more pictures and examples that I can show you that will probably help a little bit. We're going to get into part of LinkedIn where job seekers, if you're looking for work, this is some of the information you're going to want to know. You need to keep your profile picture and content current and updated, okay? Is professionals looking to hire and recruit professionals? It is not, Facebook is, in my personal opinion, is about your personal life. LinkedIn is about your professional life. It's about branding. It's about creating that image that you want to portray professionally, okay? 40 million decision makers use LinkedIn, and 85% of managers use it as a hiring tool. So when you apply for a job, not only do you get searched out on Facebook, but you also get searched out on LinkedIn. And it says a lot if you're on LinkedIn. Often you're able to send your resume directly to the manager. Whereas if you apply, say off Indeed, for example, you may have to go through the HR department and then it goes through a process. You have access to managers and decision makers right here in LinkedIn. Okay. You could also communicate in real time. They have a messenger type pop-up where you can talk live. It's a fantastic way to communicate. You get to do your network and researching after business hours. It's open 24 hours a day, like other social networking, but you don't want to be on this site when you're at work. You often don't want your employers knowing that you're seeking other work. So it's good that it's available to you. Use the skills section. There's a section down in that little drop-down area called skills. This is where you're going to choose 50 of the things you're really good at. And they're all algorithm search. So if you're a leader, or if you're an educator or a teacher, a healthcare aide, so hashtag that and you'll pop up if your resume or if your LinkedIn profile is 51% complete. Okay. So you have 45,000 different choices to make on your skills section. So, but you only get to use 50. Build your network of connections and follow groups. If you could also follow companies. We'll talk a little bit more about connections in the advanced LinkedIn seminar because it can be quite complicated. But get out there, engage, ask your friends and the people you work with and the past people you've worked with to connect with you. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. So some tips for job searching. Research the companies you're interested in. Ask your connections, that's like friends, for introductions. If they work for somebody you would, if they work for someone that you would like to get to know, or they may know someone who knows somebody who This is the way LinkedIn works. It's all these different levels of connections. You could also set up job alerts from your job searches. I'll show you how to do that. You can, there's a whole LinkedIn video, Google it. They have all these videos on how to set up your profile. They're just short little videos that'll help you. It's called LinkedIn Learning. They also have www.opportunity.linkedin. And one of the benefits is they have a free interview prep where they ask questions and you answer the questions and they actually give you feedback. And it is free. It is an algorithm. It's all set on, what's the technical term? They're looking for specific answers or a set of answers, and they'll let you know if you're within that range. Keep adding sections and improving your content as time goes on. Just remember to have those most important ones, your profile, your education, and your experiences filled out. Another thing you'll want to do is look at your privacy settings. When there are ways that you can block people if you don't want certain people to know you're on LinkedIn. So all of that's available in your privacy settings. What you share, every time you look at someone else's profile, you can turn it off that they can't tell that you're looking at their profile, or they can tell. They also have, if you want them to know, sorry. And they also have a premium account, which you can pay for, which gives you insight as to who's looking at your profile, what they're looking for, what they're searching. So that's another thing that you may want to look into if you're really going to utilize LinkedIn. Now, going on, job alerts. Oh, I talked about this a second ago. Job alerts. From the LinkedIn title bar, you can click on jobs and then you type in your search for whatever job you're looking for. Here, I'll show you. Easier to do. Okay. So all I did was click on jobs. I typed in developmental service worker in Alberta as my search for a job. And those two jobs came up. And you'll see on the right-hand side where that arrow is, where it says job alert, off, on. So if I turn it on, all the jobs that are posted to LinkedIn that have my search parameter set will go to my email. And you can set up more than one. So if you wanted to do developmental service worker and a community service worker, you can set up more than one. And often it's easier to upload a job position or a hiring position on LinkedIn than it is other platforms that I've used. So I often will post my jobs on LinkedIn first before I do the others. So you may find out about jobs first. Okay, now you notice on my profile picture, as glorious as it is, I have a little hashtag hiring there. I'm actually hiring for an instructor, but you have a choice. You can use hiring or open to work. So that when people are searching through or you're making new connections on LinkedIn, they can tell that you're looking for work. So how you do that is, again, you go under your profile picture, it says me, and where right beside where it says add section, remember it said open to, you click on that and open to work will pop up and show right on your profile picture with a hashtag. So if anybody is searching for open to work, counselors, Calgary, you'll pop up. It's a fantastic piece of software. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about keywords. Remember how I briefly talked about algorithms, search algorithms, and hashtags? These are words that are used to find you or find information. Keywords are done very similarly, and you'll want to use them whenever you can. You'll use them in your headline, in your summary about me, experience section. So this is professional description of your job duties or your position. For example, customer service, education, aid, healthcare, manager, administration. So if you know how when you hand in a resume and it goes often nowadays, it goes through a process where it is scanned and keywords are picked out. This is exactly the same thing. So you'll want to use keywords that pertain to the career you want. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're on LinkedIn tips and hints. So to be included in search algorithms, remember you have to have at least 50% of your profile complete, okay? And you can check status right on that main page once you open up View Profile. LinkedIn is a social network, so be social, engage, okay? When people accept your connect request, reply and send a personal thank you. That's something that didn't happen a lot in the beginning of LinkedIn, is people would be connecting all over the place. I don't know if you noticed, but I have 1,100 connections. Most of those connections I've never spoken with or to. So if you really want to use this as a networking tool, you need to reply, okay? And you need to say thank you. They'll remember that. Do not put your phone number on LinkedIn or on your profile. Use email instead for security reasons. I'm a mom. Don't put your phone number on there. Most importantly, be polite, be professional, and be authentic. Ensure your resume and LinkedIn accounts match, and use the same name as my name is Bonnie. So I have Bonnie on my resume and my LinkedIn. My name really is Bonita, but I use Bonnie, so it's Bonnie everywhere in my professional world, right? Next, how to make your LinkedIn stand out. Your profile picture, your banner, and your headline. Those are the most important areas to complete, okay? Keep them current. Engage. If you're really actively looking for work and you need to be in those search algorithms, make sure you're posting, updating, forwarding about 3 times a week. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do it every day, but you do need to do it once in a while to get up into the search algorithms. Follow up with people who reach out to you. Follow up with people you haven't talked to in a long time. Your past coworkers are fantastic connections, right? Be authentic, be real, and remember, be more than just your job. Some of the resources, the websites, and references I used tonight. Remember, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Thank you for your time. And now we're going to go to a question and answer period, and Gazim is going to help us do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for this amazing presentation. You really showed some really valuable information for all of our participants, which I'm pretty sure that they will be using them in the future when they're using LinkedIn, you know, in order to network and also jobs in general out there, right?
Yeah.
I see that we
will say,
yes.
We will say bye to our Facebook Live audience right now, because I'm live streaming.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, Facebook audience.
Bye-bye, Facebook audience.
Everybody
Have a great
who was
night.
on Facebook Live, thank you all for attending it.